Say hello, everyone. If you're new here, my name's Marcy. I have 4 kids, the youngest of whom is right here. Her name is Freya, and she has a rare syndrome called Cornelia de Lange syndrome. And you have a car on your finger. Look at that car on your finger. That's so cool. Is it stuck? Do you need help? No, you want it on there. Okay. So, it is so hot where we are. Is it hot where you guys are? Because it is like 100 degrees today. The kids wanted to go to the lake, and I was like, it's too hot for the lake. So we stayed home. We did a movie day at the house. Liam read Maze Runner this year, and so we watched the movie and had popcorn, and we're ordering pizza for dinner and just taking it easy. You wanna go play? Oh my goodness. I got a question the other day on, I'm pretty sure it was on YouTube. It was either on YouTube or Instagram. And someone asked, why did we choose to do sign language rather than an AAC device for Freya? Which AAC is augmented something communication. It's an iPad where there are pictures and words, and you touch the picture and the word and it says it, so that you can communicate by touching the pictures and using that. With Cornelia de Lange syndrome, delayed speech is a guarantee. Non-speaking is a really high possibility. CDLS is a spectrum. Some kids talk, some kids don't. It's just, you don't know where you're gonna land. We always have thought we will land more on the non-speaking side, just with how Freya presents. So very early on, we started sign language. I liked sign language early on because it was accessible to us. We could teach her that, and it worked well. We always thought we would do, I think, if I'm not using the correct terms, I'm sorry. I think it's called a whole communication approach, where you do speech therapy for spoken language, you do sign language, and you do the AAC device. Basically, you give Freya all the options and say, here you go, and then she can use one, she can use all 3, she can use a combination. She is in control. And I thought that fit Freya very well, because we all know she's Little Miss Independent, huh? So, why does she not have the AAC device? Good question. The thing with this whole disability parenting journey is that things take so long. We have talked to her preschool about an AAC device. She's been in preschool 2 years. She's doing an extra year of preschool because her birthday's late. It's always been something we've been working toward. You okay, girly? There you go. I'm gonna just hold on to that so it doesn't get stuck again, okay? Where's that car? Should we get you some other cars to play with? Ones that don't get stuck on your finger? And we're gonna get some cars. So that's always been something we've been working toward. Her speech therapist has always been very hopeful that Freya will be able to use spoken language, and she still might. We don't know, but she has also been using the communication board, which I have here, and I will show you guys. But first, Freya wants some cars, so we're gonna do that. Freya, where's your communication board? I just had it. Oh, it got moved. All right. There's some cars. She loves cars. There's the cars. You can get some out to play. So, she has her communication board, and I've talked about this before. This is it. And this is basically in like getting her ready for the AAC device. So she wants something, we point to want. You want this? Okay, here you go. you know, go. These are the same pictures that will be on the device if we go. This is so complicated, you guys. There are many programs. It's not just one program for the AAC device. Different people use different programs, and it all depends on what works best for the individual. They're thinking this one will work best for Freya, and so that's what they're training her on. Switching AAC programs is kind of like using another language, because they're set up differently, the pictures look different, and especially Freya, where she can't read yet, she's going off the pictures. She's not going off the word. So we're thinking this is gonna be the one. It might change, but we're using this. Her speech therapist wanted her to be able to use this before she moved on to the device. That has not happened yet. And so we have, every year, we have, it's called an IEP, Individualized Education Plan. And basically, Freya's teacher's there, all her therapists are there, I'm there, and we work together to come up with a plan for Freya that will help her the most. We have usually one in August, and then we kind of have a little mini one mid-year. And so I was planning in August to tell the speech therapist, like, screw this, we have to move on. Because I think she's gonna get more input from actually touching the iPad and it making a word. We also, so again, complicated. There's kind of two ways you can go about this, and I'm going about it both ways. You can get an iPad through the school and they provide it, but it's still technically the school's property. It's not your property. So we are going about it that way. We want her to have one at school. You also can go through your insurance and have them pay for it, and then it is your device. They have to pay for both the device, so the iPad or tablet or whatever, and then the program costs money too. So we are on a wait list to see a speech therapist. We live in a very rural part of Utah, so there's one speech therapist that does this, and we are on a wait list and have been on said wait list for 6 months. So it's not like you just go to your doctor and be like, we want an AAC device, and he's like, okay, and you get it. Like everything, and you guys know this because of her wheelchair we've been waiting on, everything is a long process. So we are trying to get it both through the school and through our insurance. Both things just take a lot of time, and it's very frustrating, and I know it's frustrating for you guys, and it's super frustrating for me. I guess the third option would be that you could buy your own iPad and buy the program outright with your own money. And while we could do that, and I know people do that, it's kind of a last resort for me, because when you have a disabled child, and I did get a comment from someone about the wheelchair saying like, oh, you can buy your own wheelchair and it's not as customizable, but then at least you'll have a wheelchair in the meantime. You can. Things are so expensive. I could buy an iPad and buy the program and buy a wheelchair and buy a gait trainer and buy, I mean, we buy stuff all the time. We bought her that cooling vest. We bought her a new high chair because that is better. We bought her the scooter board. We bought her a sensory tube for her room. It is so expensive. And things that are marketed as sensory items or communication devices or mobility devices are just way more expensive. And so I could go out and buy one, right? We're a one-income household. I get a little bit of money through YouTube, which, by the way, if you like the video and if you watch it and you watch the ads, that's how I get paid through YouTube. So if you're doing those things, thank you, because it really does help. It really gives us that little extra bit that we can do stuff like buy her a scooter board or buy her a sensory tube for her room. It does help with those things. but we are mainly a one-income household because I stay home with Freya, and we don't have just a lot of money to do those things. We don't even have money to go on vacation or to buy a new car. Like, we just don't. We live in a very nice house, and I'm very grateful for that. And that's because we have been very lucky in our real estate purchases and have been able to make a little bit of money every time we sell our house. So we just don't have the money to go out and buy a communication device out of pocket. So we are working on it. But in the meantime, we have sign language, and that's great. Did you guys see her sign Dad in that last video? She went to go find him and show him, and so this is the sign for Dad, but she often will do this or like smack the side of her head. That is how she signs Dad. And it's so amazing. She signed please the other day for the very first time, and that was amazing. She signed hot. I swear she did the other day. We were outside. I wanted to see if her scooter board would work outside, and she had socks on, but the ground was still really hot. And this is the sign for hot. And she was like this. And I was like, you go, girl. You're doing it. So that's why we do mostly sign language. Just because we are waiting on, I don't know if bureaucracy is the right word, but just we have to wait until we can see the person that says we need one and we can get insurance. And the crazy thing is once we see the speech therapist, then we have to get our insurance to approve it, and that always takes months and months. And the school system doesn't want to give a communication device to every kid that's non-speaking because they're expensive. And if they give one to a kid that's non-speaking and then they start speaking, it's kind of like a waste of time and resources. So we're waiting. And I'm really hopeful that this will be this year, that it'll happen. So there's our long explanation of why we use sign language and not a communication device. All right, girl, what cars do you have? What's your favorite? What's your favorite car? Did you already take it out? Yeah, I think you did. She usually pulls this one out very first. And I don't know if it's because it's her favorite or what, but she always seems to find that one and throw it out. So maybe it's your least favorite. Maybe you're like, get that car out of here. Get it out of here, Mom. Is that what you're saying? She loves this. What about this? No. Ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Go! 3, 2, 1. Go! Yeah. It vibrates and vibrates on her. Here you go. 3, 2, 1. Go! What about this one? 3, 2, 1. Go! Is that so silly? All right. 3, 2, 1. Go! 3, 2, 1. Go! Not that one, huh? Which one? Oh. What's this piggy doing in here? Should we drop the pig in? Pig. 3, 2, 1. Go! Yeah. Should we do this guy again? 3, 2, 1. Go! So silly. He's so silly, huh? Again? Yeah, you do it. You make a lot of noise. What about this one? Would that do it? What about these two? Ready? You love the loud noise, huh? Yeah. Good job. Your turn? Your turn? No, mommy's turn? You can do it that car. Now you're gonna hold it in your mouth. You silly girl. You silly girl. You like it loud, huh? You like things stuck on your finger. Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's so funny. Yeah. You gonna do it? So, thanks for being here. Thanks for playing with Freya for a minute. And I hope come August or September, I'll have more news on the AAC device. Fingers crossed, at least for the school. And I hope you'll come back and see what we're up to next time. I forgot one thing. I did a podcast interview with a dad who has multiple children with disabilities. And if you want to listen to it, we talk about living in the moment. We talk about kind of a little bit of our story. We talk about my fears of the future. It's very emotional. I cried like all the second half. So grab a box of tissues and go listen. I also did a podcast, I think about a year ago, with a mom that does a rare disease podcast. So if you want to listen to either one of those, I'll put a link to both websites in the description and you can go give it a listen.